Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to our witnesses. I want to focus today on a pernicious form of discrimination that this committee has recently focused on, and that is anti-Semitism. This committee's previous hearings and roundtables have highlighted the fact that anti-Semitism is a major problem on college campuses and, frankly, across the country. And just last week, we had 9 very brave Jewish students from 9 different universities come forward and describe to us really unbelievable instances of anti-Semitism that are taking place in their schools by students, by faculty, by administrators. And if DEI is the right place to address anti-Semitism, then those DEI programs have been failing the Jewish students. We know from the ADL's findings that while 55% of university students have previously completed DEI training, only 18% of them say they have had any training that is specific to anti-Jewish prejudice. There are lots of reasons for the anti-Semitism that we see rising. Anti-Semitic conspiracy theories promote the idea that all Jews are powerful, that they don't need or deserve protection as a minority. Some might not understand, in fact, most don't understand the origins of anti-Semitism or how pervasive it is, or frankly, how unique a form of discrimination it is. Many people do not understand that Jews are a diverse and multiracial community, that there is no one way to look Jewish or practice Judaism or live as a Jewish person. I am concerned, however, that the failure of DEI or universities in general to protect Jewish students is being exploited to denigrate the value of diversity and the value of DEI programs on campuses that are doing the right thing to make minority students feel welcome and included. And I am wondering, in fact, whether DEI needs to be fixed instead of thrown out so that it does make all students, all minorities, feel protected, and that would include Jewish students and minority students and LGBTQ students. So I want to start, Dr. Murphy, with you. Do you believe the DEI programs are capable of including segments to educate students and faculty members about the origins, the long history, and the dangers of anti-Semitism?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, do most DEI programs address anti-Semitism?
I do not have enough knowledge to say. I do not have enough knowledge to say whether or not they do.
Do you know whether there have been any studies to determine whether DEI programs include anti-Semitism?
I am not personally familiar with one.
Because I went on the websites of some of the schools that whose students spoke at our roundtable, and I was unable to find anything in their DEI programs that addressed anti-Semitism. So, Dr. Murphy, is there anything structural about DEI programs that would prevent or impair those programs from addressing anti-Semitism?
To the contrary, right? These programs are intended to respect the rights and dignity of all students and to ensure, typically, to ensure that they are not discriminated based on race, color, religion, disability, national origin. So no, there's nothing structurally in DEI programs. And I guess I do want to return to the idea of we need to be careful about talking about DEI as if it's this monolithic structure. It isn't.
And so it seems that if we had some structure and some standards for what DEI programs included, that might be a better use of DEI?
I think addressing institutions that are failing on this front is a very important task to take on.
Thank you. I have found throughout my education and my career that I can learn an enormous amount from colleagues whose backgrounds and life experiences are different from my own. And what I learn has impacted the way I behave, the way I make decisions in my own life and in the work I do. And so I just like to ask Dr. Green, because you address this issue as well, do you believe that DEI programs properly done could address anti-Semitism?
I think thank you for the question, and thank you for your statements about the problems with anti-Semitism and the neglect of Jews in DEI bureaucracies. But this is not an accident. It's a feature of the worldview of DEI bureaucracies. Because they're informed by the belief that people should be treated as members of groups and treated differently by their group membership based on oppressor or oppressed status, that inevitably puts Jews in contest for potentially being considered oppressed. And I think it's bad for Jews to enter the oppression Olympics and attempt to be served by DEI bureaucracies.
Sadly, my time has expired, and I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.